100% honest review of the Colgate Optic White Overnight Teeth Whitening Pen.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Just finished up with a workout, got out of the shower and everything. That's why I have the kind of Italian slick back hair. Being transparent right in the beginning of this video, it does work. And I feel like when it comes to most teeth whitening products, that's a big thing. Well, does it whiten them or not? It does work. However, there's a lot of frustrating parts about this pen that I really did not like. Now, I have to be honest right in the beginning of this video that I actually did take a before and after picture of my teeth, and somehow those pictures got deleted. Technology. And I almost didn't even film this video. I was like, well, I feel like when it comes to any teeth whitening product, the biggest thing is the before and the after picture. So here's a picture of some shades, obviously, of teeth. I'll say, so I actually did this 4 nights in a row, basically 4 different applications. You're supposed to do it 7, and I'll explain why I only did it for 4. And I'll say that my teeth went up roughly 2 to 3 shades whiter, so almost roughly a shade a night, actually, essentially, after using this pen. So yes, it really does work. However, on the flip side, there are a tremendous amount of frustrating things about this pen. Being straight up, it is the most frustrating teeth whitening product I've ever used in my entire life. I'm sorry, Colgate, it does work, but it's very, very frustrating. For me, taking a step back, I originally was excited about the pen because teeth whitening strips, for me, even though they do work, are unbelievably frustrating and annoying because I salivate a lot when I have them in. I feel like for a lot of people who are watching this video, you may have the same issue. When you put the whitening strips in, especially on the bottom row of your teeth, you start salivating. It's so frustrating. So I decided that with the pen, in case you didn't know, the process of it, basically take it off so it looks like this, and you basically almost draw on your teeth, right? Think of it almost like literally like painting. You go tooth by tooth, and then basically you let it dry, and then you sleep. You then wake up and brush your teeth, and then also you'll see it makes a very, very clear difference from even just one application. Now, the frustrating part about this process is that they say, oh, you just smile, draw it on, it dries in only a couple seconds, and then you go to bed, you wake up and it's easy, and they make it seem super easy. It is so frustrating because first off, my teeth still salivated as if I was wearing whitening strips. So I feel like that kind of negated the whole reason why I was using it. I will say it wasn't as bad as whitening strips in terms of my salivation, but it was still there nonetheless. The biggest annoyance, I think, is that what you're supposed to do is supposed to click it. I'll put that next to the microphone. Right, you click it, you see kind of like a little drop, and you basically do one line on one tooth. You wait a little bit for it to dry. The drying, being honest, they say it takes seconds. For me, it literally took maybe like a minute per tooth, right? And it almost kind of looks like after I did it, if I did it right, because they're kind of vague about, oh, you just do one application, then that's it. I'd say it kind of looked like almost if you just ate macaroni and cheese, so you can kind of see it a little bit on your teeth. Maybe I was doing too much or too little. Again, it's kind of vague of how you're supposed to do it. You put it on, it takes, honestly, probably close to a minute or 2 to dry for each tooth. But the frustrating part about this was that not only are you just sitting there being like, waiting, and you're just like, is it dry yet? I don't know, because sometimes I was like, oh, it's probably dry now, I'm gonna go to the next tooth, and then it wouldn't be dry. Or I tried to do all at once, and then my mouth would start salivating, and then I'd look back and be like, wait a minute, okay, this tooth, and this one all the way over here kind of got white, but this other one, nothing at all. And I was actually afraid, and this is why I only did it 4 nights, because it just got so frustrating after a while with the salivation and worrying because I was afraid what happens if I perfectly get one shade on and it hardens. Once it hardens, then it's a lot easier. Then you're like, okay, I definitely don't have to touch it again. You can go to the next tooth. But the tricky thing was, there'd be some times where for whatever reason, 2 of my teeth would have it perfectly on, and 1 of them wouldn't. And what would happen if 3 of them were white and I just had that one super brown tooth or less bright tooth completely obvious? If anything, I'd rather have darker teeth or less white teeth than have one of them be super white and the other one's not be as white. So that's why I only did it 4 times. It literally take me sometimes, I'm not joking, 20, 30 minutes of putting it on, waiting over it to dry, and then I'm just sitting there being like, I think it's dry now, I'm not sure, and I'd look back again. Or let's say, I'd have to spit out because obviously I was salivating, and then I'd look and be like, wait a minute, now that one tooth isn't completely hardened, the whitening stuff isn't completely hardened. So sometimes it would take me 20 to 30 minutes to make sure they're all evenly whitened, all evenly hardened and everything. And then I go to bed and wake up and blah, blah. So in theory, I get the idea because it is kind of useful. The fact that you put it on, you just sleep. And another thing also, I guess, is a positive note too. This does not give you any type of teeth sensitivity. Even for me, my teeth have never really been sensitive. But when I'd use the whitening strips, there would be times where let's say my teeth would get super sensitive and I'd have to use sensitive toothpaste or Sensodyne or whatever. This, I didn't get that. So overall, yes, it did work. And I love the fact that it worked. like I said, it was almost like a shade of night that my teeth went up in terms of the whiteness, which is amazing. The fact that it's so frustrating to use makes it something that I probably would never use again, just being honest. I'm sorry, Colgate. Although in theory, like I said, I think it's a good idea, and especially a cool kind of alternative to whitening strips. The frustrating part makes it something that I can never use again.